Hey, Pretty Girl Club. Welcome back to another episode of the Decentering Men series. So, I came across this epic chart online, and it's because I was thinking about how a lot of guys are not even monogamous, but they don't want to tell the woman that they're with because a lot of guys want the validation of a monogamous relationship, but then they want the sex life of somebody who is non monogamous or someone who has a harem. So I'm going to pull up this chart. Actually, it's already on the screen right now. This chart shows that the kind of relationship that works for one person may not be the kind of relationship that the person you're with actually wants. So I'm going to go ahead and break this down. So there are lots of articles that talk about this relationship chart. So in the infrared and magenta boxes, those types of relationships are centered around basic survival needs and family clans. It says the lines between monogamy seem to be blurred and somewhat unclear. High status males may have multiple wives, quote unquote, who are forced to be faithful and harshly punished when committing adultery. Lower status males may only have one wife and be monogamous, have to resort to forms of R wording, or be without a partner. So, yeah, a lot of the red pill guys are the lower status guys. Because, those are the types that kind of talk about these things. And then it says in this article, at the egocentric red stage, monogamy may often be practiced out of fear of punishment from a partner or out of fear of punishment from a tribe, a gang, a cult, or religion. Non-monogamy, outside of polygamy and the rare cases of polyandry, takes on the form of cheating without any considerations for later consequences, such as STDs, pregnancy, etc. And then it says at the amber stage, so in the amber boxes, monogamy becomes informed and enforced by religious beliefs and moral laws that establish and protect the nuclear family and stabilize societies by giving every man a fair chance to find a wife. Widespread polygamy leaves many men without a partner. So this is a part of why in our society a lot of people are actually against polygamy, at least on a public standpoint, because if people were actually polygamous, or the people who are into polygamy, the women tend to only want to be polygamous or be willing to be polygamous with a man who has a lot of money, or a man who, he can clearly give them something. And so the reason that a lot of people say they don't like polygamy is because that will leave the lower class men or the average man without a partner. And then it says on this article, non-monogamy outside of polygamy, which fades away at the amber boxes, takes on the form of cheating, having mistresses, and visiting prostitutes. If done by men in secrecy, it is often silently tolerated or even condoned by society. Non-monogamy by women is condemned by society. And then it says, at the rational orange stage, gender plays less of a role when it comes to sexual behavior, and monogamy becomes a practical choice for men and women in their pursuit of the good life of material abundance and personal liberty. Non-monogamy still includes cheating, but also takes on forms of open, don't ask, don't tell relationships, swinging, casual sex, sex parties, the cougar movement, escorts, sex tourism, adult clubs, etc. For example, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. And then also on this chart, it says the 100-mile rule. It says we are monogamous except when he is on the road. So this is what like a lot of NBA players and stuff are doing, or a lot of the wives of NBA players are like this. And then when it comes to don't ask, don't tell relationships, I actually believe that a lot of people who think they are monogamous are actually in don't ask, don't tell relationships, because I have talked to multiple married women who they'll be like, oh, I caught my husband, he's addicted to porn, or he's like going to all these strip clubs and stuff. And it's because that woman came in with a don't ask, don't tell type of relationship, where she was like, I'm not going to ask you about what you're doing when I'm not around, and then I'm not going to tell you what I'm doing when I'm not around. So, by the way, I'm not judging any of these styles of relationships. I am just trying to inform women that the average man you come across, he may not actually be monogamous. He may be one of these guys. And for a lot of these different types of relationships, such as swinging, that is something that you don't end up finding out about oftentimes until you're already married. So have you ever noticed how a lot of the guys who are non-monogamous, they don't reveal that information until after you're married or ever, and they'll just cheat. So it'll be a non-consensual, non-monogamous relationship. They want you to be monogamous Like he wants you to be monogamous to him because he wants all of the validation that comes with you investing all of your emotions into him, you investing all of your time into him, you investing, all of your thoughts into how can I make him feel special. This is what appeals to a lot of people about monogamous relationships. It's you are spending more time emotionally thinking about that one person and thinking about how to make that person happy, how to make that one person sexually satisfied, etc. But in a lot of the other types of relationships, like poly and dating around and stuff like that, there's less emotional investment. And so the reason that cheaters cheat is because they want the emotional investment of one woman and they want her to be like a soft landing place for when he gets rejected by the other women. So they want the emotional validation of her, and then they want the sexual validation and the emotional validation that comes from sex with other women. But let's look at some of the things that it says on here. So it says there's this yellow box in the upper right-hand corner, and it says unicorn polyamory. You can only be my girlfriend if you agree to be my husband's girlfriend too. I know that a lot of women, they get approached for things like this. Actually, one of my coworkers, she got approached for something like this, where it's like a triangle where the guy is in the middle, basically. So there's two girls and then there's a guy. So I've noticed that a lot of women who are in marriages and they don't want to leave the marriage, they will be either desperate or maybe they don't mind. I don't know. But a lot of these women, they will know that their husband is a cheater, and so then they will try to hook up, they'll try to organize for another girlfriend to come into the relationship in hopes that that'll keep her marriage intact. So I've actually witnessed that before. And then another part of unicorn polyamory is a lot of bi women go through stuff like this. It's like, my husband allows me to have another girlfriend, but I'm not allowed to have another man. This is because most men are afraid to compete with another man sexually or when it comes to getting a woman's attention. But then if you look at the left-hand side, the dating around box, the quote that it has is, I never specifically said we weren't exclusive. I never said we were either. So this is what I would call like casual dating. So this is where a lot of women start to have advantages, because when you're casually dating, we all know that men want women way more than women want men. So as a woman, if you were to even go on a dating app, you would already have way more matches than a man, no matter how you look, no matter what your weight is. You would have automatically more matches than a guy, or more guys giving you attention. And because it's casual, you as a woman aren't experiencing the emotional rejection that comes with a breakup, if you're in a monogamous relationship and then you're going through a breakup. But what do you ladies think of this chart? Have you ever met a guy who is somewhere on this chart and he didn't tell you? So, for example, maybe he was the guy that was following the 100-mile rule. I've seen a lot of husbands like this where these are kind of the upper middle class husbands who go on business trips, and they are monogamous except for whenever he travels and he's on the road. Then he will be sleeping with escorts and doing stuff like that. Have you ever asked your boyfriend or husband if he has ever slept with an escort or a prostitute? If so, will it change your view of him? Because like I said, with this whole don't ask, don't tell style of relationships, this is what actually can screw a lot of women over, because if you are not the type that likes to be in this type of relationship, then yeah, you could have some problems because your guy could be doing all kinds of stuff when you're not around and you would have no idea. And this is how a lot of women end up in marriages and they're getting STDs and stuff, because the guy is following this rule. He's following the don't ask, don't tell rule. So he doesn't ask you, what are you doing when I'm not around? Or some guys are controlling enough to where they will ask and then they'll just lie. So they won't tell you. They won't tell you that they are seeing a man on the side. So this is how you see a lot of those videos where it's like, oh, this pastor, he was seeing a male escort on the side or a male prostitute on the side and he didn't pay him his money and then the guy exposed him. Yeah, this is how you see a lot of those scenarios. But what do you ladies think of this chart? Have you ever encountered a man who he tried to come off as monogamous, or he lied and said, oh, I only want to be with you and stuff like that, but in reality, he was following the don't ask, don't tell rule, or he was doing something behind your back where if you had known in the beginning, you would have never even dated him? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section, and I'll talk to you next time. Stay pretty, ladies.